Revealed, the amazing truth of a janitor's daughter who speaks 5 languages and transforms lives. Lily Thompson's heart raced. At just 12 years old, she was the pride of her working-class Chicago suburb, a determined girl with a fiery spirit. The buzz around her was electric. People whispered, "Can you believe it? A janitor's daughter? 5 languages." Her dad, a school janitor and a veteran, worked tirelessly to provide for her. His sacrifices shaped her, instilling values of perseverance and resilience. Yet, dream after dream felt out of reach. Every day, as she walked through the hallways of her middle school, the weight of expectation clashed with the words of her peers. They'd say things like, "She's just a janitor's kid." But Lily refused to let that define her. Every whisper that echoed through the hallways, every derogatory remark only fueled her desire to rise higher. The pungent smell of cleaning supplies mingled with the air around her as memories of her father working late into the night filled her with pride. After all, he was more than just a janitor. He was a hero. In the face of financial stress, she learned languages like they were treasures: Spanish, French, Mandarin, Italian, and even Arabic. For Lily, each word unlocked another door to her dream of making a better life for her family. Her fingers tingled with excitement as she spoke fluently, but the students around her remained indifferent. They didn't see the hours spent studying or the weight of her struggle. They only saw her humble background. As the days rolled on, the bubble of tranquility around their neighborhood burst when a favorite local bakery closed its doors, sending waves of despair through the community. People banded together, organizing fundraisers, sharing recipes, and offering support. The wonderful spirit of neighbors helping neighbors wove its way into her heart, proving she wasn't alone. But the tension rose anew when a prestigious scholarship opportunity was announced, one that promised to change lives. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted. Friends became rivals in the blink of an eye. Classroom chatter transformed into sharp whispers. Everyone was tense, their laughter replaced by envy. As the days unfolded, inner voices pressed Lily, urging her to claim her shot at the brighter future she yearned for. But there was her father's cautious voice echoing in her head. Would he be supportive, or worry that the attention might change her? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The day of the assembly arrived, charged with emotion. Students clamored to express their opinions, jeers flew, classmates clashed. Tension thickened the air, sparking Lily's indignation. As her heart thundered, she felt the weight of her father's journey pressing down on her shoulders. Would she raise her voice? Could she stir her classmates into action against the injustice of social inequality? With every gaze locked on her in the packed auditorium, the silence became heavy. Would she step forward, champion the dreams of the many, or remain quiet for the sake of loyalty? The moment hung suspended, leaving Lily on the precipice of her future, a future that could redefine her destiny and spark change in her community. What would she choose? The air was electric, a tempest brewing in the hearts of the students. Lily stood alone, surrounded by familiar faces that were now unrecognizable in their hostility. Her heart raced, fear and determination battled within her. What if she took that step? The very thought both exhilarated and terrified her. She could feel the heaviness of expectation weighing on her small frame. The principal's voice echoed over the microphone, but it was a dull thrum against the drumbeat of her heart. Students, this scholarship could be our ticket to brighter futures. He glanced at her. Their eyes locked for only a heartbeat, but in that fleeting moment, she saw hope reflected in his gaze. Hope that felt impossibly distant. As the students launched into debate, Lily's ears buzzed with chants of "unfair" and "not for us." Each word struck her like a fist. Was that truly how they felt? That someone like her, a janitor's daughter, couldn't possibly belong to a world reserved for the privileged? With every minute dragging on, she could feel her resolve slipping like sand through her fingers. She remembered her dad and the countless hours he spent in service to provide for her. There had to be a way to make a difference, to challenge the limitations imposed on them. But how? Could one voice really change anything in the cacophony of spiteful remarks and narrow-mindedness? Then there was a shift among the crowd, a ripple of anticipation washed over them. Someone shouted, "Let her speak." Lily's breath caught. Were they really calling for her? For the girl who blended into the background, who had spent too long keeping her head down, waiting for her moment to shine? She glanced at her friends, their faces torn between support and fear. In that instant, she felt a swell of courage rising from deep within. Was this what she had been waiting for? A chance to make herself heard. Stepping into the aisle, she pushed past her doubts, one step at a time. Each stride felt like a tiny act of rebellion against all those voices that tried to belittle her. The energy shifted as whispers turned into curious glances. With shaky hands, she clutched the podium, feeling the cool surface beneath her palms. The audience fell into an expectant silence, faces reflecting a mix of uncertainty and intrigue. "No one should be defined by where they come from," she began, her voice wavering but clear. "I am just as capable as anyone here. We all are." She looked out at her classmates, feeling the weight of every pair of eyes. "My dad taught me that hard work and kindness matter more than any title or accolade. That's why I want to fight for this scholarship, not just for myself, but for us all." At that moment, it felt like the air cracked open. Her words hung in the space between them, like a bridge reaching from her heart to theirs. Could they see her truth? Lily's heart pounded, and tears pricked her eyes as she searched the crowd. Then, slowly, she noticed nods in the audience. Could it be? "Let us build a future together," she exclaimed, voice rising like a crescendo. "This isn't just about me, it's about our community working together." The applause erupted, shaking the very foundations of her fears. Encouraged, she continued, ignited by fierce determination. Would her voice truly spark change? And would her peers finally understand the value she brought to their world? As she finished, Lily felt lighter, exhilarated by the possibility. The auditorium buzzed with energy, a sense of unity forming among their fractured group. But even as relief washed over her, doubt seeped in. Would this be enough to challenge the misunderstandings that had kept them divided? She stepped back from the podium, feeling a sense of fulfillment yet with a lingering question in her heart. What would come next? Would they take her words to heart, or was this moment just a fleeting spark in the face of deeper-rooted issues? As she exited the stage, whispers filled the air around her. Would they really embrace this change she had ignited? Or was this merely a dream, one she might wake from too soon? The buzzing chatter swirled around Lily as she stepped off the stage, her heart still racing from the adrenaline of speaking. It felt like she had just thrown a stone into a still pond, the ripples reaching out far beyond her own expectations. She caught sight of Emma, her closest friend, who was waving her arms excitedly, a huge smile plastered across her face. "Lily! That was incredible." Emma rushed over to her, bouncing on her toes. "I can't believe you actually did it. You were amazing." "Thanks," Lily replied, a shy smile creeping onto her face. But the praise felt heavier than usual. But will they really listen? I mean, it's still me, right? Just a janitor's daughter. Emma's expression turned serious. "You did more than just speak, you opened up a conversation. You made them see you." Lily nodded, her heart pounding with hope and uncertainty in equal measure. She quickly scanned the auditorium, her eyes landing on the clusters of students who had once pulled away, their expressions now thoughtful. Someone from the back stood up, clapping slowly, and soon others joined in until the whole room seemed to reverberate with applause, but it wasn't applause alone that caught her attention. Josie, the captain of the cheer squad, caught her eye. Uncharacteristically quiet, Josie was talking to a small group, her expression animated. Lily's stomach twisted. Could it be possible that Josie was discussing her speech, perhaps even appreciating it? Seconds felt like hours as curiosity gnawed at her. Just then, a boy named Eric approached, his brow furrowed. "Lily, can I talk to you for a second?" "Sure," she said, her voice almost swallowed by the noise around them. He stepped closer, his eyes searching hers. "I've always thought of you as just, well, you know. You're really different. You speak with so much passion. I never knew you felt that way about us all. I want to help you with this scholarship thing." Lily could hardly believe what she was hearing. "Wait, you want to help?" "Yeah," he said, his voice low but confident. "I want to be part of this change. Maybe we can gather some support? There are a lot of us who want this opportunity." A spark ignited within her. This wasn't just about herself anymore, it was turning into something bigger. "That sounds amazing. We could put together a campaign or something. Get people on board." As they exchanged ideas, a wave of excitement washed over her. She started to realize that this ripple effect wasn't just in her mind, it was happening. Students who had never spoken to her were now eager to join in. A newfound alliance was forming, and just like the scholarship itself, it felt like they were all chasing after a dream together, but the excitement was met with anxious thoughts. What if this was temporary? What if they got caught up in the moment, only to let it slip away later? And then there was the question of support. Could she really count on students with privileged backgrounds to stand alongside her? Just then, a hush fell over the crowd as the principal returned to the microphone. "Students, we will be holding a meeting next week to discuss this scholarship further and how we can support each other moving forward." Lily's heart drummed loudly in her chest, a mix of thrill and dread. Change was on the horizon, but what did that mean for her? Could she keep this momentum going? Suddenly, a voice broke through her thoughts. It was Josie, standing strong, addressing the crowd. "I think it's time we showed everyone what we're really capable of. Let us rally for this." The cheers erupted, and Lily felt a surge of hope. Could they really change things together? This was the moment she needed. Moments like this could reshape their reality. But would they be ready for the truth of her world, and how it intertwined with theirs? As the waves of energy swirled around her, Lily couldn't shake the question: how deep did the commitment run in this newly blossomed alliance? And was she ready for what unveiling that truth would bring? The energy in the auditorium surged with a mix of excitement and uncertainty. Lily stood there, her heart pounding wildly as the cheers echoed in her ears. She was becoming part of something bigger than herself, yet she felt a twinge of doubt creeping in. Could she truly be the catalyst for change? She turned to Emma, who was still buzzing with exhilaration. "Do you really think they mean it? That they'll follow through?" Lily's voice was barely a whisper, edged with apprehension. "Of course." Emma's eyes sparkled with belief. "You've got supporters now. This is just the beginning." As students mingled and exchanged ideas, Lily watched them with a sense of disbelief. Eric was already pitching the idea of posters and social media campaigns, while a couple of girls from the debate team were brainstorming ways to raise awareness during lunch. The laughter and animated discussions felt surreal. It was a whirlwind of hope, but it felt too fragile to last. Feeling a surge of courage, Lily stepped forward, raising her voice above the chatter. "Hey, everyone! Can we gather together for a moment?" The room quieted, turning their attention toward her. She felt the weight of their gazes, a mixture of curiosity and eagerness, like a blanket enveloping her. "I know we're all excited, but we need to make sure we stay focused. This isn't just a project. It's about us coming together as a community and fighting for something that really matters. We have to stay committed, support each other, and make sure our voices are heard." Each word felt like it was pulling them into a tighter bond. The nods of agreement and murmurs of understanding ignited a warmth inside her chest. Emma squeezed her hand, and for a brief moment, confidence swept through her. "Let us make a pact, right here and now," Josie called out, stepping up beside her. "No matter our backgrounds, we're in this together. We'll keep each other accountable. What do we say?" Lily couldn't help but smile. Josie, the cheer captain, was pushing against the boundaries. There was a fierce determination in her voice that fueled the crowd. "Together. They all shouted in unison, a mighty affirmation echoing in their shared space. Suddenly, the moment was interrupted as the door swung open, and the principal walked in with a stern face. "I need to speak with Lily and Josie, please." Lily's heart sank. Had they done something wrong? The room shifted in uneasy silence, eyes darting between the principal and the girls. As they followed him outside, 1,000 worries rushed through her mind. "What did we do?" Josie whispered, her confidence wavering slightly. "I don't know," Lily replied, dread pooling in her stomach. Once outside, the principal shot them a serious look. "What you're doing is commendable, but you need to understand the boundaries. This is a school function. I can't allow any unresolved issues to disrupt the academic environment." His words felt like ice water splashed on their moment of glory. Lily's instincts flared up, but she forced herself to keep calm. "Sir, we just want to help bring awareness to an important issue. We're serious about this." He paused, looking between them. "I support student initiatives, but you must remember that some people may not be as receptive as you hope." Lily blinked, gripping Josie's arm in disbelief. "But we have to try, don't we? If we don't fight for this, who will?" He opened his mouth to respond, but the bell rang, signaling the end of lunch. As students began to filter back into the auditorium, the weight of uncertainty hung in the air like a heavy fog. "I won't let this stop us," Josie said quietly, determination returning to her eyes. Lily looked back into the auditorium, sensing the collective heartbeat of her peers, a rush of hope mingling with the tension. "We'll find a way to overcome this. Together." But could they really stand against the waves of doubt? With shadows of caution looming over them, the beginnings of their movement felt fragile. Was the spark they ignited strong enough to withstand external pressures, or was it destined to be snuffed out before it could truly catch fire? Lily felt the chilling grip of uncertainty tighten again. Whatever happened next could change everything. The auditorium buzzed with half-whispered conversations and reluctant laughter as students filtered back in. The warmth of their camaraderie mingled with the icy chill left by the principal's warning. Lily stood at the entrance, heart racing, a knot of anxiety twisting in her chest. She couldn't shake the feeling of impending doom hanging over their newfound mission. "Maybe we should tone it down a bit," Emma suggested, her voice a blend of concern and optimism. "I mean, the principal has a point. We don't want to get in trouble." Lily shook her head, her resolve solidifying. "No. We can't let fear hold us back. This matters too much." She didn't want to be the reason their movement sputtered out before it even began. "Okay, but we need a plan." Emma's voice trailed off, her brows furrowing. The crowd was reassembling, and despite the fear that crept in like a fog after the principal's talk, the excitement was palpable again. Eric was already up front, waving his arms wildly, catching their attention. "Okay, team. What's next?" Lily stepped forward. She took a deep breath, looking around at the faces of her friends, peers, and maybe even future allies. They were all quick to forget the principal's warning, hunger for purpose igniting their spirits. "Let us create something impactful," Lily said, her voice firm. "How about starting with a petition? We need to show that we have support. We can gather signatures and create a presentation for the principal, so he sees we're serious." A buzz of enthusiasm rippled through the crowd. "Yes!" Josie exclaimed, her earlier confidence returning. "Let us get the whole school involved." "Good thinking, Lily," someone shouted from the back. As plans began swirling around like confetti, hope began to settle back in. Lily felt her heart lift as they all started throwing out ideas. They created committees, assigned roles, and outlined tasks. Just like that, their doubt began to dissipate. For the first time, it felt like they were part of a real movement, yet, despite the excitement ricocheting around the room, a knot remained in Lily's stomach. She glanced at Emma, who appeared deep in thought. "What's wrong?" Lily asked, concern lacing her voice. "What if someone tries to shut us down?" Emma asked. "I mean, what if it's not just the principal? I get it, but if we don't stand up now, then we're letting fear dictate what we can and cannot do, Lily replied, her voice rising with passion. We have to take risks. That's part of fighting for change. As she spoke, she could see a flicker of understanding lighting up Emma's expression. Others were nodding along, the energy slowly morphing into a shared conviction. But as the bell rang once again, ringing in the reality of classes, the weight of their mission lingered heavily in the air. They had all shared this moment, but what awaited them outside these walls? Meet back here after school? Josie suggested, gathering their buzzing energy into a focal point. Once everyone had agreed, the group dispersed, each student retreating into their classrooms like soldiers preparing for battle. Lily took a deep breath, steeling herself for what lay ahead. Each step echoed her determination, but she couldn't shake the tension that bubbled beneath the surface. People weren't always receptive to change, and what if they were met with opposition worse than a stern principal? As she sat through her classes, thoughts swirled. Was it too late to turn back? Would their efforts even be noticed, or would they drown in indifference? The clock dragged through each session, and as the final bell rang, calling them back together, Lily made her way toward the auditorium, heart pounding with resolve, yet uncertainty flickering in her mind. What would they find when their voices united once more? Would courage pull them toward undeniable momentum, or would the fear they felt from the principal become a storm that swept them apart? The atmosphere in the auditorium felt electric. Students gathered again, their faces a mix of excitement and apprehension. Lily stood at the front, clutching the notes she had scribbled during classes, her palms sweaty. She looked around, seeing familiar faces filled with hope and fear. Today was different. Today would be a turning point. Okay, everyone. Lily called out, her voice cracking just a little. Let us get organized. Josie, you'll head up the petition team. Find out what people want us to fight for. Josie nodded, her face bright with determination. I'll make sure we gather as many signatures as we can. If we meet in groups, we can cover more ground. Great, I'll mention that to the others, Emma chimed in, her worry shifting to enthusiasm. We can make a Google Doc for ideas and let everyone contribute. The group began buzzing with planning, dividing responsibilities like a well-oiled machine. Ideas flew around the room: posters, social media campaigns, maybe even a school assembly. Each suggestion sparked more energy, but amidst the planning, Lily still felt that knot in her stomach tightening. There was an urge to shout out, "What if we fail?" But she held it back. They were together in this, and their momentum was growing. As they crafted their battle plan, the door swung open, and Mr. Thompson, the principal, stepped inside. The cheerful mood instantly shifted into palpable tension. Everyone turned towards him, holding their breath. "Good afternoon, everyone," he said, his voice stern yet curious. "I trust you're all behaving yourselves?" Lily felt the heat rise to her cheeks. "We're just discussing some ideas for school improvements, sir." Mr. Thompson's gaze narrowed slightly. "Is that so? I hope you understand the importance of following protocol while voicing your concerns. I don't want to see any protests or disturbances. You don't want to get yourselves in trouble." His warnings echoed like thunder, but Lily's heart pounded louder. She couldn't let fear take the wheel again. "We want change, Mr. Thompson. If we don't speak up, nothing will change." He sighed, studying her with eyes that seemed to pierce through her bravado. "I appreciate your passion, but be cautious. This is not a game." After he left, a heavy silence filled the room. Uncertainty swept over them like a cold breeze. "Did we just cross a line?" Emma muttered, biting her lip nervously. Lily clenched her fists, pushing against the doubts swirling in her mind. "No. We can't turn back now. If we want to make a difference, we must forge ahead. Together. We can do this if we trust each other." Gradually, the murmurs returned, rekindling the atmosphere. They all started collaborating again, each voice building on the other. Yet as they worked, Lily couldn't shake off the feeling that they were standing on a precipice. What they aimed to achieve might be more than just a simple petition. The bell rang, signaling the end of their gathering. Students began to drift out, a fresh sense of purpose fueling their movements. But as Lily walked alongside Emma, doubt crashed against her resolve. What if we really do get in trouble? We can't think like that. We stand for what matters, Emma replied, her eyes bright with determination. Right, Lily said, though fear still lingered like a shadow. They parted ways, and Lily made her way home, the relentless questions cascading in her mind. What if they faced real opposition? Would they rise together, or would their voices be silenced before they even began? With uncertainty swirling like a storm within her, she couldn't help but wonder, could their fight truly inspire change, or would it tear them apart in the end? Lily stepped into her house, the familiar smell of her mom's cooking mingling with the crisp air from outside. The warmth of the kitchen was inviting, but it couldn't shake the cold knot in her stomach. Her mom looked up from the stove, her tired eyes lighting up just a bit. "Hey, sweetie. You're home early. How was school?" It was fine," Lily replied, her voice barely above a whisper. She slid into a chair at the kitchen table, placing her head in her hands. The last thing she wanted was to bring the weight of her worries into her mom's busy evening. Her mom moved closer, concern etching itself across her face. "You sure? You look a little stressed." "I just had a big meeting about student issues. We're trying to make some changes," Lily said, glancing up, hoping her enthusiasm would come through. But the truth felt heavy in her throat. Her mom nodded, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "That sounds important. I know you care about your school." "Yeah," Lily sighed. "But it feels like we're taking a risk. Mr. Thompson warned us not to cause trouble." Silence hung in the air. Her mom searched for words, the kind that could lift her daughter's spirit. "You know, I remember when I was in school. We had a principal just like yours. Everyone was afraid to speak up, but a few of us decided to try anyway." "Really? What happened?" Lily's curiosity sparked, the little flame of hope rising in her chest. "Well, we started small, organizing study groups at lunch. It showed the school that we could make a difference with our voices. It wasn't easy, and some didn't agree. But we taught them to listen. We found unity in our struggle, and it changed everything." "Did it really?" Lily felt lighter, intrigued by her mom's story, as if it was offering her a glimpse of a possibility that felt distant only moments ago. "Absolutely. Change takes courage. And sometimes, the most unexpected people can make the biggest impact." Her mom placed a gentle hand on Lily's shoulder. Just then, the doorbell rang, interrupting the moment. Lily jumped up and dashed to the door, almost forgetting the weight on her shoulders. She opened it to find Josie standing there, breathless. "Lily. You won't believe this," Josie exclaimed. "We've got a lead on a local news outlet that wants to cover us. They think our petition is a big deal." Lily's heart raced. This could be it. This could bring them the attention they needed to make a real change. "Are you serious?" "Totally. We can meet tomorrow to set everything up. If we can get the right words out there, this could escalate fast." "But we need confirmation on the details," Lily interrupted, her voice shaking with renewed excitement. "We can't just shout into the void. We need to make sure everything is perfect before we go public." "Exactly. You get me." Josie's enthusiasm was infectious. "I'll handle the local news contacts if you tackle the social media stuff. We can work late tonight and draft something that really captures our story." As the two of them started hashing out ideas, Lily felt her worries begin to melt. They weren't just a group of students anymore, they were a movement. The power of their voices was starting to evolve from quiet whispers to bold declarations, but just as exhilaration surged, another thought crossed Lily's mind: what would happen if they succeeded? Or worse, what if they didn't? Would the backlash from the school be too painful to bear? Her heart raced with the weight of both possibility and consequence. "Hey, what's wrong?" Josie asked, sensing Lily's hesitation. "Just what if it all goes wrong?" The question hung between them like a thick fog. Josie's expression softened. If we never try, nothing will change. And if it goes wrong, at least we fought for what we believe in. Isn't that worth something? You're right, Lily said, though the fear still flickered at the edges of her mind. They were diving into uncharted waters. With renewed determination, they settled into planning, sketching the outline of their message. But in the back of her mind, a troubling question churned. What if their fight brought more danger than they anticipated? Lily paused, her pen hovering over the page. Was she ready to face the unknown? As they brainstormed, the future loomed ahead, bursting with uncertainty and desire fueled by a spark of hope, yet shadowed by fear. Little did they know, the path ahead would take unexpected turns, revealing deeper truths about themselves and their community. Would they emerge victorious, or would the challenge prove too great? As the moon hung bright against the darkening sky, Lily and Josie sat huddled over the kitchen table, their notes and snacks scattered about in a chaotic yet vibrant mess. The energy in the room was electric, and the aroma of her mom's dinner still wafted in, a comforting reminder of home. Yet, with every idea they tossed around, the reality of their mission began to feel heavier. Lily's pen darted across the paper, writing fervently as Josie debated the best way to word their opening statement. What about something like students deserve a voice, not silence? Josie suggested, her eyes sparkling with passion. Yeah, that's strong. But we need to hit harder. What if we said we're tired of being dismissed? Lily countered, excitement bubbling inside her. Yes. We need something that pulls at the heartstrings and makes people think. We're talking about real people, our friends and families being affected. Josie bubbled, her hands animatedly punctuating her words. As they crafted their message, Lily felt a warmth spreading in her chest. For the first time in a while, she could see a path forward, a chance to stand up for something that mattered. Her fears started to be overshadowed by a sense of purpose. Just then, the gentle yet persistent buzzing of her phone broke through the charged atmosphere. It was a group message from their classmates, filled with questions and suggestions. What if we create a hashtag? One of them proposed. Another chimed in, can we share our stories? The personal impact? Lily glanced at Josie, her heart racing. This was bigger than they had imagined. What if we shared our own stories? What if we each posted a short video talking about what our school means to us? No one can argue with real experiences. Josie exclaimed, her excitement infectious. If we show how this affects us personally, how the decisions impact students every day, yes. Lily's mind raced. They could capture the fears, hopes, and dreams of their classmates, blending them into a powerful narrative that no one could ignore. I can interview people, gather their voices, their words. We can make an impact. Hours slipped away as they planned late into the night, laughter punctuating their discussions among moments of focused concentration. But deep down, Lily fought the nagging thought that always seemed to surface. What if they opened up too many wounds? What if the very people they wanted to inspire retaliated? Lily, Josie said softly, shaking her from her thoughts. You're getting lost in your head again. Just focus on the now. We're doing this for a reason, remember? Lily nodded, but the uncertainty lingered, refusing to let go. What if we're wrong? What if it all backfires? Josie leaned closer, her expression earnest. Even if it does, we'll know we stood for something. We can't worry about what others might do. This is bigger than us, we have to be brave. The truth in Josie's words resonated with Lily. They were on the brink of something monumental, and each fear was just a shadow cast by their bright hope. As exhaustion set in and the night wore on, they finally wrapped up their plans with a sense of accomplishment. The heaviness of uncertainty had lessened, replaced by a growing eagerness for what awaited, but just as they prepared to call it a night, Lily's phone buzzed again. This time, the message felt different. It was from someone who had been watching them, someone powerful. Mr. Thompson. Meet me first thing tomorrow morning. We need to talk. Her heart sank. They were diving headfirst into uncharted waters, and the scale of what lay ahead began to loom once again, not only for them but for their entire school. What could he possibly want? Did he know about their plans? A wave of anxiety washed over her. She glanced at Josie, who was already looking at her, wide-eyed. It seemed their fight was about to take a turn they hadn't prepared for. Tomorrow would be a pivotal day. Would it bring them closer to their goals or shatter everything they had worked for? Sunlight streamed through the kitchen window the next morning, painting streaks of gold across the table where Lily and Josie had spent the night brainstorming. But instead of the usual warmth that brightened their spirits, there was a chill in the air. The weight of Mr. Thompson's message loomed over them like a storm cloud. Lily picked at her toast, the pile of notes and half-empty coffee cups still scattered across the table. Josie leaned closer, her brow knitted with concern. What if he wants to shut us down? We've really put ourselves out there. Lily swallowed, her throat dry. I don't know. But we can't back down now, can we? No way, Josie said, her voice steady. We've worked too hard. We need to stay strong. With an uncertain nod, Lily glanced at her phone, watching the clock tick closer to the meeting time. Every second felt like a lifetime. Just as they were about to leave, Lily's younger brother burst into the kitchen, his usual morning enthusiasm unabated. Hey, Lily. Josie. I heard something cool at school yesterday. What's that, Sam? Lily asked, trying to push aside her anxiety. Some sixth graders are starting a club to help out kids who are feeling lonely. They want to create a safe space for everyone. Isn't that awesome? He grinned, clearly excited about it. Lily's heart lifted slightly. That is awesome. It's nice to see kids coming together. You should totally join in. Love to see you get recognized with something good. Sam beamed, oblivious to the heaviness in the air. Josie exchanged a glance with Lily, her eyes narrowing. See, Lily? This is what it's all about. That's our goal too, to unite everyone. If they can do it, so can we. Right, Lily murmured, feeling her resolve harden. This wasn't just about them, it was about every kid who felt unheard. As they made their way to school, their pace quickened with every step. Arriving at school, the usual bustling energy was tinged with tension. Students walked by, avoiding eye contact, whispers echoing in the halls as the news of their campaign spread. But despite the fear that churned in her stomach, Lily felt something else, a sense of purpose igniting inside her. They approached Mr. Thompson's office, and for a moment, time froze. A knot formed in her throat, but she bit her lip, reminding herself of all the positive change they could create. When they knocked, Mr. Thompson's voice called them in. The principal sat behind his desk, and his stern expression made Lily's heart race. Good morning, ladies. I understand you've been quite active in the last few days, he began, his demeanor unyielding. Lily took a deep breath. Sir, we're here to talk about giving students a voice and sharing our experiences. It's important for us. Mr. Thompson raised an eyebrow, but there was a flicker of curiosity in his eyes. And what makes you think this is something your peers want? Josie leaned forward, emboldened. Because they're speaking. We've heard their stories, and they want a space to express themselves. We want to highlight issues that really matter. There was a long pause, the room heavy with anticipation. Mr. Thompson glanced at the notes on his desk, then slowly looked up, weighing his words carefully. I appreciate your enthusiasm. However, it's important to understand the potential repercussions of such a movement. A sinking feeling hit Lily again. What if they weren't ready for what came next? What if the backlash was too much to bear? But before she could spiral, Mr. Thompson continued, we can't allow chaos, and some might retaliate or they might rally around it. Lily interjected, desperation creeping into her voice. We need to try. The room fell silent. All right, Mr. Thompson said finally, his expression shifting. Let us talk about how we can make this work without letting it spiral out of control. Relief flooded through her, but as they spoke, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of something much bigger. Are you ready for this? Josie whispered as they finally exited the office. More than ever, Lily replied, her heart set on the change they could make. But even as she felt the excitement of possibility, a single thought nagged at her: what would it cost them? Would this path lead to empowerment or expose them to new dangers? The road ahead was unclear, but one thing was certain: they had taken the first step into a fight for their future, and the stakes were higher than they imagined. The morning sun shone brightly, its warmth filtering through the cracked windows of the multipurpose room where Lily and her classmates gathered. Excitement buzzed in the air, a palpable energy that felt as electric as the hope they all shared. Today was the day. Lily stood at the front, her heart racing like a wild horse. She looked out at the crowd of eager faces, some familiar, others new. Each one of them had rallied around the cause she had ignited with her voice just weeks before. Dreams of change filled the room, bursting with the realization that together, they could be a force. Today, we're not just here for ourselves, Lily began, her voice steady despite the flutter of nerves in her gut. We're here to show that every voice matters. We all deserve a future where we can be heard, regardless of our backgrounds. The room erupted with applause. It energized her spirit, ignited a fiery determination in her chest. Let us talk about our petition, she continued, waving the sheets filled with signatures and messages from peers. These aren't just names, they are stories, they are dreams. The audience nodded, some even raised their hands, eager to share and shout their support. Emma, standing beside her, leaned in. We want to highlight the importance of community. We're stronger together, and the principal agreed to help us organize an assembly to voice our collective dreams. Joy erupted in the crowd, cheers mingling with laughter. This wasn't just an event, it was a celebration of unity. For students like Eric, who had once felt lost in the shadows, it was a moment of transformation. He stood up, brimming with passion. I'll share my story. It's time we showed everyone what we face and what we can achieve. Lily felt the warmth of tears prick her eyes. She saw strength flickering in everyone around her. They were ready to take a stand, to share their stories, and to embrace the truth of their journeys. As the assembly began, stories flowed like a river, each personal narrative weaving together into a tapestry of resilience and hope. Josie spoke to the crowd, her powerful voice igniting further enthusiasm. We've faced struggles, but together, we can make our school a place where every student feels valued and heard. The energy was electric. Lily marveled at the transformation of her peers, who just weeks before had only whispered behind closed doors. Now they stood proud, united in a mission. The crowd became a chorus, rising beyond boundaries, students from various backgrounds, all echoing the sentiment: change was not just desirable, it was essential. As the assembly concluded, a wave of applause shook the room. Lily's heart soared high above the sky. Doubts that had once anchored her soul began to evaporate. She and her friends had not just made a point, they invited others to join their journey. Stepping outside into the vibrant sun, she felt a sense of liberation wash over her. Did we really just do that? Emma gasped, her eyes wide with disbelief and excitement. We did. Lily exclaimed, a radiant smile illuminating her face. And this is just the beginning. Look at what we've started. The crowd began to disband, laughter echoing into the warm afternoon air, students chatting, discussing future plans, and the glow of unity pulsing through them felt like home. In that moment, it struck Lily, they had stepped out of the shadows. As she and Josie walked home, they shared dreams bubbling forth like fireworks in the night sky. They discussed forming clubs, mentoring programs, and even community outreach initiatives that would break down barriers and bring their neighborhoods together. Their laughter danced in the cool breeze, a melody of hope as they realized they had unwittingly become the change they once sought desperately. Tomorrow, we reach out to the bakery that closed. They could use some support, right? Josie grinned. Yes. We can show them our support, and in turn, ask them to support ours. With every conversation, every bond forged, they felt the spirit of their community reignite. Their paths may have started from humble beginnings, but they had collectively ignited a flame of courage that would burn fiercely for all who followed. As they reached their homes, a sense of pride filled Lily's heart. They had clawed their way through turmoil and fears, and together they forged a future filled with unwavering hope. They were now a family bound by dreams, each one worth fighting for in the tapestry of their lives. Lily caught a glimpse of her father working in the yard, a vision of tenacity and love. She remembered his sacrifices and felt a swell of honor. She had captured not just a dream for herself but for him, and for every child who believed they were just a janitor's kid. Taking a breath, she whispered softly, "This is only the beginning." The world spun around her, and within that moment, she knew, they would champion every child's voice until the echo of their truth filled every corner of their lives. Their story was just starting to unfold, and she was more ready than ever. And now, dear friends, this is your moment. If you felt touched by this incredible journey, you need to subscribe now. Don't wait not even one more second to share this with everyone you know. Leave a like now to feed that algorithm, and comment your thoughts and feelings about this inspiring ending. Your support is what fuels us. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Together, let us create a wave of change and inspiration.